Welcome back to the show, everybody. Check out this headline, and it's no joke. This isn't a crypto under siege. This is our country under siege, and I'm going to prove it to you in this video. Somebody roll that beautiful intro.
Digital Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Welcome back to the show, everybody. You can follow us on Twitter and YouTube for exclusive content. Right now, $1.11 trillion market cap for crypto. The market is flat this morning in the last 24 hours here. We see Bitcoin 26,400 plus, 1732 and change for Ethereum. Tether market cap 83.1 billion, down from where it was yesterday. 48 cents for XRP. It's up 1.6% in the 24-hour. Let's care for what we call progress. Look, I want to wish a happy Father's Day to all the fathers and parents out there. You know, the greatest gift we could ever have, right, is mentoring another individual. So I want to say to all my children that I love you very much, and I hope all of you out there, parents, have a wonderful day with yours. Right here, it's Glint. Glint Pay, ladies and gentlemen. And this is a way for you to have a personal alternative to the banking system. And what I'm about to show you, you may be more inclined to check it out today than you ever have been. And there's even better news because you can use this code right here, DPV50, to get 50% off the vaulting and insurance fees for the next 12 months. I don't often talk about politics, but I don't know what's going on here. But these are images of different, and I'm not going to play them all because it's not necessary. But there are massive military presence in major cities right now, and no one knows if it's a training exercise or if there's something actually about to take place inside of this country. Again, this is Pennsylvania right here. Now, we're going to talk about crypto in a second, and who knows, maybe all of this is tied and relevant. But what I do know is whatever is happening here is happening in large cities across the country right now, whether it's an exercise or some other event. And we should all at least be aware of it so we can all try to find out exactly what's happening. Anyone in these areas where you're seeing a military presence, please send me a message and let me know if you have any more definitive information about what exactly is happening. You know, could this be an exercise about possible bank runs in the future? Could this be an exercise about something else? Cyber attacks? We know we've been threatened by Russia. Or could this just be a military exercise that they do every 5 years? I don't know the answer, but I know this. Bringing things back to crypto, if you remember, this is a clip when Jay Clayton, who dropped the lawsuit on the last day of his office as the SEC chairman, he dropped the lawsuit on Ripple. They asked him when ETHgate first broke out in the free pass, they asked him about it, and this is what he said. And believe me, you're going to want to stay with me through this, ladies and gentlemen, because there's a lot to get out of this. And this isn't about crypto or Ripple and XRP being under siege and attack. And that has happened. But I believe we're looking at a much larger problem about our country being under siege. Let's start right here.
Jay, let me ask you about something that it winds up in my Twitter feed constantly. I've tried to look into it and done a little research on it. There's this argument about an action that the SEC brought on your last day as the chair of the SEC. This was the one to go after Ripple Labs executives, the CEO, the general counsel, and others, and kind of come after them for some sales that they had planned and whether they were upfront. There has been all kinds of speculation because Brad Garlinghouse, the CEO, the general counsel, have been very public in their pushing back and fighting the SEC on this. And they've done some mudslinging and said that you and others at the SEC were compromised in this decision, that you had input that was coming in from people who are maybe Ethereum fans or others along the way. I get this question constantly. I just want to put it to you. What happened and what do you say to those accusations?
Well, Becky, I'm not going to comment on any pending investigation or action in front of the SEC. I think you know that. We've discussed that in the past. And look, it's America. People have the right to defend themselves. They have the right to their opinion. And I'm not going to engage in that either. I think as government officials, you do the best you can. You let the facts stand where they are, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Can we talk more broadly?
Well, we're going to visit that topic again about why he may have possibly brought that lawsuit before we get out of here today. But let's move to this, because Becky Quick, Andrew Sorkin, and Joe Squawk over there have done zero to expose or cover this important story that has gone on with Ethereum, ETHgate, and the free pass. While Becky Quick and all of them over there at CNBC, when we were going to see, when are we going to see you report on the Hinman emails now? They were not even using the Howey test inside the Hinman emails that gave the ETH a free pass. They called it the Hinman test. We all know that if you're going to have the Howey's test or the Reeves test, it has to go the distance and have legal clarity to become a test to the Supreme Court. Those that turned a blind eye to this issue will be revealing the position of your network. Then there's this, Prometheum. Andrew Kaplan and the crew over at Prometheum. Wan Zhang. You know, this is extremely troubling because not only have we seen William Hinman, who, by the way, you will need to be reminded, was the major driver and leader of the Alibaba IPO. It's going to come into a play. Stay with me here. But looking at this clip really quickly of Prometheum, which is a China CCP, Communist Party, backed company. I want you to listen to this right here. This is not a smoking gun. Shout out to DAI. It's an atom bomb. The SEC is setting up a Chinese backdoor into crypto while trying to stop American companies. And I'd like to build on what he's put here. And not just crypto, but the traditional markets too. Take a listen to this.
We have SEC qualified tokens. Now, what does that mean? When you do a Reg A Plus offering, and any sort of public offering in the United States, the SEC either has to qualify or register those securities. And it's a bit of a process. It takes 4 to 6 months. But what that means is it basically opens up all the possibilities to you, because what you allow for is tokens that are available to all investors and free trading on the secondary market once listed on an ATS. And I would argue that that's the holy grail that's necessary in order for the token economy to flourish.
So not only do we have the Ethereum free pass that happened, courtesy of William Hinman and I believe Jay Clayton, because he was the chairman at the time, right? He allowed it all to happen. So not only do we have the Ethereum free pass to create a monopoly and assembly line of companies and tokens to launch off of that network, which did happen. Now we have Prometheum positioning theirself as the quintessential ICO platform, looking to monopolize on every ICO to be launched off of this approved platform because they were awarded a special purpose broker-dealer's license. Understanding that Prometheum is in fact backed by a China CCP, it is not a guess to know that those payment rails would be in control by China and the CCP. It's very disturbing. But keep listening here.
Next, let's look at our issuance platform. So on the issuance side, you have a potential issuer, and they basically want to offer a token compliantly under the federal securities and laws in the United States. They fill out a Reg A Plus offering, and they get it qualified by the SEC, which is not, it's weird because qualified essentially is tacit approval of the offering. When the SEC gives its tacit approval, its qualification, that token becomes free trading and available to all investors. And again, that's super important for this economy to flourish. How is Prometheum going to list companies on its ATS? Where are we going to get companies from? A ATS, meaning an exchange, an alternative trading system, which is the equivalent of an exchange, needs an issuer pipeline. You need product by which to list on your platform. The second part of our issuer pipeline, oh, there we go, is Wangzhang-related entities.
Oh, listen.
Prometheum's lead investor and technical co-founder is a company called Wangzhang Shanghai Blockchain.
Lead investor and technical co-founder.
which is probably the largest and most capable blockchain company in the world. And they've invested in a multitude of companies that are part of their network that they anticipate listing on the Promethean platform to do an issuance and then to list on our secondary market. And what's wonderful there is that the quality of their projects is immaculate. It's a wonderful product pipeline.
Okay, so you have that. Now let's go to this now. In Congress, we saw this gentleman, Andrew Kaplan, testifying in Congress that Prometheum did not have access to customer information, nor did it have access to the technical side of what Prometheum is. They were simply a shareholder. Well, let me tell you something. This is not what their partnership agreement says here. The Twitter sleuths in this space are absolutely incredible. Shout out to Wheezy for this one. China's second largest Wang Zhang company here, which we know is China CCP backed, and I've got more evidence for you here. Now, the gentleman, Andrew Kaplan, just testified a couple days ago as we covered that they don't have any business in the back end. Well, the parties are committed and will facilitate, develop, and advance Prometheum's ecosystem as set forth in the document materials previously provided by Wang Zhang and or its partners as defined in the technology agreement. Thought they were just shareholders. It being understood that the development of the ecosystem may necessitate change to those documents, whereas the parties are committed to share resources and efforts expeditiously, implement the ecosystem's functionality, and advance Prometheum's competitive advantages in the furtherance of implementation and development of the ecosystem. You know, this is not what was said inside of that hearing. Prometheum has a need to innovate and develop its system and products for implementation in Prometheum's ecosystem for creation, distribution, trading, clearing, settlement, custodial services for crypto securities, the ecosystem in compliance with the United States federal securities law. A partner of Wang Zhang has entered into a stock purchase agreement making an equity investment in Prometheum and also entered into a technology agreement with Prometheum. In case you're still wondering about the China CCP investor, Prometheum, that the SEC Goldman Gensler gave the special purpose broker-dealer's license to, here's Nerd Nation with it again. Shout out to Wheezy. In 2016, Wang Zhang was voted as one of the least transparent and most corrupt companies in the world. Wang Zhang even operated in North Korea, mining copper in North Korea's largest arms dealer, Comid, evading U.S. sanctions due to its U.S. ties to politicians, to U.S. politicians. It's not just crypto that's under siege, it's our country. Remember, crypto is a small percentile of what is going to happen. What is going to happen is the digitization of everything, the tokenization of everything of value, which means it's no longer he who has the most gold makes the rules. It's he who controls the payment rails rules the world. This, ladies and gentlemen, is who is behind Prometheum, and they're working and getting the blessing from Gary Goldman Gensler at the SEC and gave them the coveted SPBD, Special Purpose Broker-Dealer license that all the exchanges are dying to get. How is it that a China CCP-backed company is the one that gets it? You know, this is it. I can't ask it any more than I'm asking it. And where does all this motivation come from? Remember when I said in the beginning of this video that it was William Hinman that was the leader of the Alibaba IPO? If you remember, Alibaba made a play to buy MoneyGram. That deal was blocked by the United States government. And the company to come in afterwards and pick it up off the floor and be a partner to MoneyGram was Ripple. Now you have to wonder, Knowing that William Hinman has close ties to China, being the leader of the Alibaba IPO, you have to wonder that William Hinman, who had 15 million reasons to give that Ethereum free pass, you have to wonder that if the lawsuit from the SEC versus Ripple was in fact retaliation for the U.S. block MoneyGram deal that Alibaba wanted so bad. And if you remember, Ripple partnered with MoneyGram right afterwards. Then the SEC lawsuit followed, and Ripple was forced to part ways. Was this more CCP influence? Again, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't crypto that's under siege. It's our country. And he who controls the payment rails does rule the world. That's why the rest of the country, including Russia, are trying to create BRICS coalition, because SWIFT messaging system is the current payment rails that are controlled by the United States and the sanctions they impose. I happen to believe that everything that we just discussed today may be connected. Not financial advice from me or anyone else. I don't come to you as a Republican, and I don't come to you as a Democrat. I don't even come to you as an independent. I'm a patriot. I'll catch all of you on the next one.